What do you guys think? This is my first German plane. You know me, I love World War II warbirds, and I think the FW190 is probably the best one to be a first. It'd be kind of like, if you're gonna buy an American warbird, you have to get the P-51 Mustang, right? If you're going British, gotta get the Spitfire. I think the FW190, the Focke Wulf, is the way to go. This was Germany's P-51 basically, until the Spitfire came along for the British guys. This didn't have anything really to keep up with it. So it really was the ace of the skies for quite a while. And although I'm American and I love my American planes, I have to respect these amazing machines that were in the air. I mean, this thing is beautiful, and I love the history behind it all. So
look at the lights, guys. Very
cool, yes. So there's a lot of attention to detail going on here. We've got wingtip nav lights. We've got green here and red on the other side. I love the machine gun mounting system here that also doubles as our battery hatch, which is very cool. Don't see that type of latching system very often. I had to use a nice, I think this is an 8-channel? Yeah, 8-channel receiver in here. I think I only used 7 of the channels, but that's because we have our traditional 4 channels of throttle, aileron, rudder, and elevator, but we've also got the nice flaps that are a bit hidden here, just like true to scale, the little split flaps, and retracts, which are beautifully done. The nicest thing about this plane is very, very easy to put together. Only one small flaw for me was the elevator. One of my servo horns here just didn't sit flush with the elevator and the foam. I was worried that might come undone, so I hot glued it pretty heavily. I think we're nice and secure now. Should be pretty sturdy in the sky, which is important because today it's very windy. This is going to be a maiden flight on a really windy day, which is probably like 10 miles an hour plus and gusting higher. So there's no flight stabilization on here. It's gonna rock around a lot. You may see a crash in this video. I hope not. All right, that's wasn't too bad. I haven't trimmed anything yet, and since it's big, it's handling the wind really well. Let's put those landing gear up now. There they go. I know that wasn't a good shot for you guys, but
nope.
Okay, so would you guys believe this is flying on a 3S pack? I would have imagined this plane to be a 4S. And I think I could use a tiny bit of down elevator because it is climbing some, so that's good. I I actually put a lot of up elevator trim into it. Visually, it looked like it needed it. And really, it's just this wind I'm fighting now is really tough. So I'm okay to fly it, but I'm a little nervous about the landing. She's flying okay though. Well, actually she's flying really good. Pretty happy with that. It's definitely not doing so good when it flies with the wind. It's like not heavy enough, not fast enough. This flies kind of feathery. I'm a little surprised because like my P51 is smaller and it just cuts right through the wind. This thing, you can see, it's kind of like flying a kite, how much the wind you can easily see which way the wind is blowing when I'm flying this thing. It's like I'm giving it a ton of rudder or something, which I am not doing. Every time I get a little gust of wind, it pushes that nose up. Now, just as a reference, for those of you that are skilled at flying, there's hands-free. It can fly into it, no problem, but then you hit a little pocket of wind or a thermal because it's so hot and super hot out today. We're like mid-90s. Is that you telling me to get closer
yes.
to the mic? Okay. It's just crazy. This is a little funky. It's flying like a really light plane, but it's heavy. There's a lot of wind. I'll be excited to fly this on a more calm day. Even though, unfortunately, for you guys, I got really lucky and I picked this plane up before it went completely out of stock. I must have got one of the last two in stock. So what I'm going to do is link a slightly different version of this plane for you. It'll probably cost a little more. I'm not even going to tell you what I paid for it because I think they were just trying to get rid of them because you'll hate me. But it's a pretty sweet plane, so I'll do my best to link a very similar one in the description box below. It's flying really well, and I'm excited to do a follow-up on this on a more calm day. Whew, crazy with the wind. You guys are going to want to stick around for the landing on this because it is going to be rough.
You put a LiPo alarm in there,
There is a
right?
LiPo alarm in there, yes, but you can see how much porpoising is going on there as I cut through and fight the wind. You know what? Let's just take it up a little bit higher. I'm going to have to because of this wind. This whole time I've been like half throttle or so. And I want to try a loop and a couple rolls because I'm just flying in a boring circle with this, fighting the wind the whole time. Let's see if it can do it. So nosing down, pick up some speed and pull back. Does a loop, no problem. No problem. And let's just go right into a roll. No problem on the rolls.
Very good.
I feel like I can do it a little lower now. I know I'm high and far away, but man, if you guys could feel this wind, you probably would be just like everyone else at the club today, just watching. Whoo! Let's do a lower roll, Abby. Oh man, there goes. Lost a lot of airspeed.
That was scary.
Yeah, it was. I lost a ton of altitude there with that. You can just see how it's flying. Like, it's just losing so much speed and losing a lot of lift. I'm stalling a lot with this wind. So I would like to play with the flaps here for a minute, see what it feels like at half flaps, and there's full flaps. Seems to fly nice and level, which is good. It's good to test your flaps before you land, especially on a maiden. And I'm not paying too much attention to my alarm on my transmitter. That's just telling me 5 minutes. More concerned about the LiPo alarm. But I didn't gain a lot of roll or anything when I lowered the flaps to full. Sometimes if one lowers farther than the other, you'll gain a lot, like you'll roll some. And I didn't have to trim that out, so that's good.
It can go really slow, can't it?
Sure can, and I'm kind of enjoying that. And I'm going to lower the landing gear on this next pass and then probably make a few attempts to land this thing. It's going to be rough. It's probably going to nose in. Boy, I'll be lucky if I don't. Yeah, I know. Here we go. Landing gear coming down. There we go. They both came down. Pretty happy with that. Still got my flaps down, and you can probably tell with my breathing, I'm getting a little bit nervous. Yeah, I know. All right, let's give it a shot. This is my first actual attempt. Oh, I know I can.
You're coming in that way?
Yeah, I have to because of the wind.
Kind of crooked.
Oh yeah. I just don't want to stall too high. But with those flaps giving me that lift, oh, there, I did stall. I winked. Oh, I stalled it right at the last second. Well, I think I'm happy with that. Let's go see if I did any damage really fast.
gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I did jar my rudder and my rear wheel pretty hard on that landing. It seems to be jammed in place, so I've got to take a little bit of a closer look at that. Luckily, I like that this rudder is actually hinged with 3 plastic hinges. That's awesome compared to foam. I got this for a really good price, and I'm not going to complain about it. I did get it new off of a website, like I said, so what I'll do is link one of my favorite versions of this plane in the description box below. It flew really, really well, especially considering the wind, and I'm going to ask for it. Give me a thumbs up for flying in this much wind. What I'd like to do is just patch that up, figure out why it's jammed, and then come back on a calm evening and fly this again for you. Maybe I'll have some type of fun challenge with it. Maybe I'll fly it, and hey, if we're lucky, Abby will be flying the P-51 then, and she can shoot me down with this.
You have big hopes and dreams.
I do. I'm just happy that you flew the Aeroscout recently on the channel. That was so much fun. Maybe you'll come back and fly the Aeroscout, and I'll fly this.
Cool.
And I'll shoot you down, because I think this could, yeah. Oh. I'm hearing a strip servo. Yep, definitely.
Well, that just came out of the blue.
It just decided to kick on and whine, so I may have to replace the servo. Regardless, I'm a huge fan of this, and even in the wind, I enjoy flying. I like a little bit of a challenge, and that's what this was for me. Well, I need to unplug this. If you're interested, we'll have a link in the description box below. I was also flying on a new transmitter that I just picked up. If you guys want to see what my new transmitter is, I'll have that linked in the description box below too. Get any guesses? Leave them in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.
Bye.